All right, we land in the camp of the Super Eagles, where Nigeria's senior national team, the Super Eagles, will know their group stage fours for the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying series next month. The Super Eagles have featured in each of the last 3 World Cup tournaments and will be bidding to make it 4 in a row for the first time ever and 7th overall in Qatar in 2022. Nigeria will be joining 39 other African countries in the second round group stage draws, which has been scheduled for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Cairo, Egypt on Tuesday, January 21st, 2020. The second round of the qualifiers will kick off in March 2020 and will conclude in October 2021. Group winners will advance to the third round, which is scheduled for November 2021. Meanwhile, Super Eagles head coach Gernot Rohr has denied reports that he rated Ovie Ejaria better than Ebereze and that he has mandated the Nigeria Football Federation to get the former into his team immediately. The duo are being courted by the NFF to switch allegiance and feature for the Super Eagles at the senior level. However, reports emerged recently in some section of the media that Rohr would prefer to have Ejaria in his team instead of Eze. The German tactician has, however, come out to deny the claim. Quoting him now, he said, "My attention has been drawn to some statements online that I have described Reading FC player Ovie Ejaria as a better player than Queen's Park Rangers Ebereze, and so the Nigeria Football Federation should get him in the team immediately," reads a quote credited to Rohr on the official Twitter handle of the NFF yesterday. "This is totally false and very disrespectful to both players. I never compare players and I have not asked the NFF to make any approach for the player in question. I will never ask the NFF publicly to approach any player for our team. We have our processes and it certainly doesn't include sharing such information publicly." And former Nigeria international Odion Jude Igalo said his nomination for the CAF African Player of the Year award and reaching the top 10 nominees is a privilege. Igalo was the top scorer at the 2019 AFCON in Egypt, and his exploits with Nigeria in particular earned him a place in the shortlist that has also the likes of Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah and Riyad Mahrez. I said it's a privilege to be in the top 10. If anybody had told me 5 years ago or even this year that I would be there, it would be hard to conceive. Meanwhile, former Nigeria international Victor Ikpeba has said new Super Eagles sensation Victor Osimhen should not see himself as the new Rashidi Yekini. Rather, he should work harder. Osimhen has been in impressive form for Lille in the French League, scoring 11 goals in 21 appearances in all competitions so far. He was also on target for the Super Eagles in their opening 2021 Africa Cup of Nations against Benin Republic and Lesotho. But Ikpeba, a teammate with the late Yekini, said Osimhen has the talent to be the best but must put in the extra work to be successful. Quoting him now, he said, "I spoke with Victor Osimhen recently in Uyo. I told him he should put his legs down. He should not get carried away. The journey is still long. He is not the new Rashidi Yekini yet. He has the potential to be one of the best strikers we have in Nigeria and in the Super Eagles." Meanwhile, Cairo giants Al Ahly have expressed their interest in FC Luzon's Nigerian forward Blessing Eleke. Since his arrival at Al Ahly, manager Reni Voila has relied on different players at the striker's position, with none of them convincing the Swiss. Junior Ajayi, Walid Azaro, Marwan Mohsen and Salah Mohsen have all featured for Al Ahly this season, with the quartet having 7 goals between them out of 25 scored by the Reds this season. This forced Voila to ask the board for a new striker in the January transfer window, and the main name on Voila's wish list is Nigerian forward Blessing Eleke, who plies his trade at Swiss side FC Luzon. Meanwhile, FIFA is to take legal action by the end of the year to force Michel Platini to return 2 million Swiss francs he received illegally during Sepp Blatter's reign at the World Football's governing body, according to a document seen yesterday. FIFA banned Platini, its then vice president, in 2015 over the payment. It said in the document seen by AFP it would take action to recover the money illegally paid by the former president of FIFA to the former vice president of FIFA. The document explained that FIFA also planned to target Blatter and that under Swiss law, FIFA has until December 31st to file a claim in court. All right, we land in Europe where Bayern Munich set a new Champions League benchmark where they completed a perfect Group B campaign with Wednesday's comfortable 3-1 victory over Tottenham. Kingsley Coman, Thomas Müller and Felipe Coutinho were on the score sheet as the Bundesliga champions improved their points haul to a maximum 18 from 6 games. Bayern finished well clear of second-place Spurs, and the combination of points and positive goal difference, a commanding plus 19, confirmed them as the best group winners in the competition's history. Let's now take a listen to the man who was on the losing side yesterday night, talking about Jose Mourinho.
It's always a difficult game to play when you have one eye in this game and one eye in the period that is arriving. I left players at home to rest. I left players on the bench. I played lots of the young kids. Of course, you always try to get the best possible result, but we played against a very good team that was in need of winning. But Germany is not England. We are going to play 6 Premier League matches in the next 15-20 days, and it's very, very difficult. So I had to make decisions for the team and not for myself. If I was thinking about myself, I would bring all the best players. I would play with maximum strength. I would try to get the result, which we could perfectly. Thinking about my team and to think about my team and my players, I think I made the right options.
The special one not being selfish at all. Elsewhere, Gabriel Jesus helped himself to a hat-trick as Manchester City came from behind to win 4-1 and end Dinamo Zagreb's Champions League hopes. Dinamo were eyeing a place in the knockout stages for the first time in their history, and they were going through when Dani Olmo's sublime volley opened the scoring. City headed into the match on the back of a chastening derby defeat to Manchester United, and with their place in the last 16 as group winners already secured. However, Pep Guardiola's side summoned the fight to pool level through Jesus' 34th minute header and a quick fire brace early in the second half, taking the 22-year-old past 100 career goals. I mean, that was the end of the argument, I tell you. Let's now take a listen to Pep Guardiola after the Dinamo Zagreb game.
Yeah, we qualified. We didn't play for points, but we played for us, ourselves. And it's important to finish in that way. And you are right, so no injuries and no yellow cards, not many. And we make 70 good minutes, especially the second half. And the players don't play regularly, play incredible well, and it's good. So now focus in the Premier League and the other competitions, and wait in which conditions we arrive in February for this competition. Is like this. So Atalanta had 0 points after 3 games, is second in the group stage. So this competition is weird, but hopefully we can arrive in good spirit to face the best teams in Europe.
All right, to the full results. Club Brugge, they lost to Real Madrid 3-1. It ended in favor of Real Madrid. Paris Saint-Germain, with Neymar on the score sheet, they beat Galatasaray 5 So PSG and Real Madrid go through, and Bayern Munich, they did beat Tottenham 3-1, as I told you earlier, while Olympiacos did beat Zvezda, that's Red Star Belgrade 1-0. That one ended, but Tottenham and Bayern Munich, they go through. Dinamo Zagreb in Group C lost to Manchester City. Shakhtar Donetsk were beaten by Atalanta. In Group D, Atletico Madrid beat Lokomotiv Moscow 2-0. Bayer Leverkusen, they lost to Juventus 2-0. That one ended. All right, and to the second tier club competition in Europe, talking about the Europa League. Some people say it's where boys play. But Nemanja Matic is set to play for Manchester United against AZ in the Europa League tonight. But Paul Pogba is not yet ready to return, according to manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Matic has been sidelined with injuries since a 0-0 draw with Eredivisie side back in October. The former Chelsea midfielder has been tipped to leave United in January, having found his place in Solskjaer's first team plans come under threat during the opening weeks of the season, with Serie A clubs, including Milan and Inter, said to be interested. Meanwhile, Manchester United will have no trouble attracting star signings as they remain the biggest and best club in the world, manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says. With the transfer window opening in 3 weeks' time, the Red Devils have been tipped to bolster a squad that has at times been stretched to breaking point this season. Strikers including Erling Haaland, Mario Mandzukic have been linked with moves to the Old Trafford, while Borussia Dortmund's Jadon Sancho, Leicester City playmaker James Maddison, and Atletico Madrid's Saul Niguez are also rumored to be long-term options.
You said agents don't want to put their players there. I'm sure players would want to be here. So, and I don't speak to too many agents, to be fair. So I think Man United is the biggest and the best club in the world, and I'm sure there's so many players out there that would want to be part of a rebuild of Man United. So results, performances, of course, we want to play a type of football that our fans enjoy, our players enjoy, and maybe some opposition players would like to be part of as well.
Ahead of today's game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer expressed happiness in the confidence that has returned to the team's fans, but added that resting some players in their last Europa League game was a huge plus.
Inside, we've always had belief that what we're doing is the right thing. So it might change the perception on the outside, but then results, you can't control that. Of course, it could have been 2 draws, it could have been 4-0 wins. That's just the nature of football. Sometimes you've got the margins your side, and I think the decision we made by sending a young team to Kazakhstan and Astana made the players that stayed here have more energy and be really ready for this week, because it was a hard week.
All right, Arsenal have confirmed that Kieran Tierney dislocated his shoulder in Monday's 3-1 win over West Ham as a lengthy absence beckons. The 22-year-old started each of Arsenal's 2 most recent matches, but he lasted only 29 minutes at West Ham after falling awkwardly in his own penalty area. Yes, the man is out and is a doubt to feature even in January. Some major fixtures to expect tonight in the Europa League. Apoel Nicosia will be up against Sevilla. Karabag will face F91 Dudelange. Basel will be up against Trabzonspor. PSV and Eindhoven will face Rosenborg. Porto will be up against Feyenoord. Standard Liège will host Arsenal. Rangers will be up against Young Boys. Mönchengladbach, Borussia Mönchengladbach will take on Istanbul Basaksehir, while Manchester United will be up against AZ Alkmaar. Wolves, the Wolverhampton Wanderers, will be up against Besiktas. In the Spanish La Liga, the Royal Spanish Football Federation says it is not responsible for security during El Clasico and warned it could impose sporting sanctions if political demonstrations lead to trouble at next week's Camp Nou match. And over now to Serie A, where Gennaro Gattuso has been appointed the new head coach of Napoli. The Serie A club have confirmed. The former Milan coach and midfielder takes charge at the São Paulo following Tuesday's dismissal of Carlo Ancelotti. I'm not sure that's much of a good news, but Gattuso, who twice won the Champions League as a player under Ancelotti in a hugely successful spell with Milan, would now be taking over. Ancelotti's exit was announced just hours after Napoli's 4-0 win over Genk secure their place in the last 16 of the Champions League. Rumors already have it that Ancelotti is already in talks with Everton. Thanks for being a part of the show this morning. My name is Wisdom Obina. I am your Superman in the world of sports, taking you to places where no one else does. I will be back with the rest of the crew after the news update at 3 p.m. for today's Sports Live. Until then, have yourselves a blessed day and keep it locked on this dial. Today FM 95. Rocking World.